Bluesmobile for the Blues Brothers with SNL's Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. Coming up on the left is a black Ford Cobra kit car for the recent reboot of the Knight Rider series. And for the 21st century Knight Rider, the voice of the kit car was an uncredited Val Kilmer. Yes, Nick Rivers himself. Here's a red Ferrari 308 for the original Magnum PI with Tom Selleck, and some Back to the Future vehicles, Biff's car, and some vehicles from 2015. By which I mean the 2015 scene in 1989's Back to the Future Part 2, like that hover-converted pink Edsel. From the future, now we're going to go to the distant past with these Stone Age vehicles from 1994's The Flintstones. Here's some customized Fast and the Furious street racers. A gyrosphere from Jurassic World, directed by Colin Trevorrow. A 1941 Willys Coupe from Fate of the Furious, some military vehicles from the Transformers movie. Before there were the Jurassic World movies, there was Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park trilogy. And
welcome to Jurassic Park.
Up ahead we got some props, picture cars, and other items from those films, with one exception. The Jeep Wrangler Sahara to the left here was used in Jurassic World. To the right, this is a camouflage Mercedes from the Lost World Jurassic Park. And a boat which was being attacked by the Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park 3, directed by Joe Johnston. We're now passing through the gates of InGen. Oh, Jurassic Park 3 featured William H. Macy, Tay Leone, and Sam Neill back as Dr. Alan Grant. And coming up on the left is this Fleetwood RV Mobile Lab. Last seen dangling off a towering cliff on a remote island in a terrifying scene from the Lost World Jurassic Park. But for this scene, the van was actually right here on the Universal front lot, dangling from a parking structure, which was dressed to look like a towering cliff on a remote island. It's kind of quiet here now. The dinosaurs are not really into attacking the boat or the van anymore. They're doing things like attacking our tram and spitting at us. Look out, everybody. It's a pack of angry, spitting Dilophosaurs. Dilophosaurs. Oh, remember the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3? Well, don't look now. But coming up on the left, here's Spiny. We thought the dinosaurs were finally extinct. It seems extinctions are only temporary here in Hollywood. All the Jurassic films have done really well. So it's kind of a no-brainer that we're going to make some more. So that means the dinosaurs will not be extinct anytime soon. And this is thanks in part to moviegoers like many of you, some of whom have also been watching television shows like Reverie starring Sarah Shagi. Right now we're heading into a filming area known as Old Mexico, which once became a virtual 1973 Santiago, Chile, for an episode of Reverie, an episode entitled Despedida.
You're gonna want to watch out the
not only is the world just around the corner on the back lot, but sometimes the virtual world as well. Some of these old Mexico sets have also been Tijuana for productions like What's Love Got to Do With It? The Ike and Tina Turner Story with Lawrence Fishburne and King T'Challa's mom, Angela Bassett. Oh, did I mention that there's a flash flood warning in effect for Old Mexico? No. Yeah, there's a flash flood warning in effect for Old Mexico. Just FYI. You're welcome. A storm. Everybody grab your thunder buddy because we got some rain. This isn't too bad. I think we can handle this. Except, wait, does anybody happen to hear a low rumbling sound off in the distance?
Oh no, the dam broke.
The water's just coming down that road.
Uh-oh, on the left it looks like a flash flood heading straight for the tram. Take cover. I was playing a trick on you back there. The rain is coming from a set of sprinklers above the tram. The flooding results from thousands of gallons of recycled water coming from tanks at the top of the hill.
You can't outrun the wolf, kid!
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Here's the flooding effect in Big Fat Liar with Frankie Muniz, Amanda Bynes, and Paul Giamatti. Now, we're going to cross an imaginary Rio Grande from Old Mexico into Texas. This is a Western filming area known as 6 Points, Texas. Recently, a showdown took place here.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Jimmy Fallon.
Well, I ain't going anywhere, Jimmy Fallon.
Now look here. Nice folks in this tram don't want no trouble. They just want to check out 6 Points, one of the oldest sets on the Universal line.
I hear this is where John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart shot a few of their westerns.
That's right. That's where I aim to shoot you.
Looks like we got ourselves a Mexican standoff. Lucky shot.
Now what say you mount up and get out of town while the getting's good?
All right. Well, I'll see you again, Fallon.
Oh, you can count on it, fella. And get.
This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
We just have to talk it out, that's all.
Jimmy is going to talk it out. He's been one, or I guess two, of the Universal Western stars who've walked these streets over the years. There have been a few others. We're now heading down John Wayne Road, and we're going to make a right onto James Stewart Avenue. And our tour is now approximately at the halfway mark. So I just want to remind everybody to stay seated during the entire tour. The studio is private property, and if you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the red cord to get my attention, and I will be back to assist you, but do remain seated on the tram. Right now we're going to get back to this idea that the world is just around the corner on the back lot. Coming up ahead of us here is Little Europe, whose sets can be transformed into nearly any country for filming, European or otherwise, by doing things like changing the language on the signs, like Little Europe has been Italy for Angels and Demons with Tom Hanks. Speaking of Italy and all things Italian, Signor Fallon.
Mi chiamo Jimmy Fallon e tu una grossa bottiglia di vino. Je m'appelle Jimmy Fallon. Je l'ai été baguette.
Mussolino! Hallo, ich bin Jimmy Fallon. Ganz Schnitzel. Ich glaube, das steht auf mich.
Little Europe also has provided a backdrop for many of those classic Universal monster movies like Dracula with Bela Lugosi. You might of course recognize it as The Afterlife from The Good Place, with Ted Danson as Michael and Kristen Bell as the late Eleanor Shellstrop.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife,
I've never ever seen this.
you're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
Right now we're approaching the house where we're taping the talk show Home and Family, which airs weekdays on the Hallmark Channel. It's hosted by Mark Steinis and Debbie Matenopoulos, so I can just go off the microphone for a few moments. Everyone, I'm back. Welcome to Stage 50, home to our Bay Area subway station set. Seen here in an episode of the series Bones with Emily Deschanel and David Boreanaz.
Oh, yeah.
When I talked to him, to the guy behind his arms.
That's with the FBI?
Yeah, we're here about the
That's him. Right over there.
What you see here, this is called a hot set. Everything is in place for filming the next scene, so we need to make sure that nothing is touched or moved or disturbed. Meaning, I just need you all to remain seated, keep your arms and legs inside, hang on to loose articles as well. You can go ahead and take pictures and shoot video all you want, and take a look at all the details. Whoa, whoa. That's one of our little California tremblers, which we get all the time. This could be the big one. On the left, look out. The David's waking up. Everyone just please remain in your seats and stand by. Uh-oh. On the right there, up with it. That's earthquake to big one. Here is what the effect looked like in the Bones episode. That's a simulation of an 8.3 on the Richter scale. That's what's known as a mechanical effect in Hollywood. It was certainly one of major magnitude. Now our tram is going to take us all the way back east. We're going to kind of come close to the New England town of Amity Island from Jaws. The shark has been caught, but as you're going to see, as situations developed in Amity, the tide has gone out. The boats are kind of high and dry. We're going to do a little drive-by here. You might recognize the Amity sets from season 3 of The Good Place.
Oh, I've never seen
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, open shark surgery. These Amity sets also became the town of Cabot Cove, Maine for the television series Murder, She Wrote with Angela Lansbury as Jessica Fletcher, the daring author detective. You might have recently heard Miss Lansbury as the voice of the mayor of Whoville in Dr. Seuss's The Grinch. Oh, Angela Bassett from the Oscar-nominated Black Panther. She was here recently to the left of us on this street known as Elm Street, filming an episode of the Fox series 911. And coming up on the right is a structure called the Chicken Ranch, which has appeared in the movie musical Shout with John Travolta, an episode of Quantum Leap with Scott Bakula, and Beethoven's Fifth with the Big St. Bernard and Dave Thomas of SCTV and Strange Brew. By the way, Michael Shore, creator of The Good Place, is bringing a new show to NBC this year, Andy's with Natalie Morales, which has been filming on Colonial Street, which you might remember as Wisteria Lane from ABC's Desperate Housewives.
If there is one thing everyone in suburbia can appreciate, it's a good neighbor.
Good Neighbors by Gabrielle, played by Ava Longoria. Her house is this beige one coming up on the left. Also on the left is this kind of beige and stone house, home to Susan, played by Terry Hatcher. The last house on the left was home to Lynette, played by Felicity Huffman. To the right of us, the green and stone house was home to the late Mary Alice Young, voiced by Brenda Strong. The blue house was the home of Bree, played by Martha Cross. The powder blue house was home to Mrs. McCluskey, played by Catherine Houston. The title location for Abby's is this kind of brown and turquoise house ahead of us here. We've been filming Abby's there with a live audience. And on Desperate Housewives, that house was painted pink when it was the home of Edie. Edie Britt, played by Nicolette Sheridan. Yeah, you might remember Edie. She's the one that says the line about...
What the heck? Let's go back.
So we took a trip up the street. What the heck? Let's go back. This light brown house coming up on the left, you can see it in the commercial for Armor All with John Cena, where he's holding his car up over his head, and he says, "We are both in tip-top shape." That happens in the driveway there. This is also the street where Tom Hanks and Bruce Dern lived in the 1989 film The Burbs. And Christina Ricci came here to film part of the Casper movie. Nellie and Kelly Rowland shot Nellie's Dilemma music video here. We know about the housewives. Tom Holtz and Stephen First shot the scene from Animal House around some of these sets. You can also see Colonial Street in the music video Tempo by Chris Brown. Coming up on the left here is a 1970 Dodge Charger. Wait a minute, I think that's Dominic Toretto's Charger from Fast and Furious. What is it doing there? I gotta call security about that. Looks kind of suspicious. Well, now we're leaving civilization behind and heading into the wilderness area, which you might have seen in Dylan Clark's Netflix movie Bird Box with Academy Award winner Sandra Bullock. And as you saw it, if you weren't blindfolded, I was just mentioning the Grinch story. Here now is the, well, once again, Academy Award winning director Ron Howard. He's going to talk about the production of the 2000 live-action Grinch. Go ahead, Ron.
One of the biggest creative challenges that we faced on How the Grinch Stole Christmas is to bring the storybook world of Dr. Seuss to life. Some of the most talented artists in Hollywood worked for months to create a living, breathing Whoville. When it was all done, they had built an entire city. And the fantasy world of Dr. Seuss became a reality.
Downtown Whoville was inside stage 12, the big one on the front lot now being used for the voice. Suburban Whoville was constructed as an exterior set on the back lot. Here's the Whoville Burbs, and here's what they look like in the movie. From the movie musicals Mamma Mia and Mamma Mia, here we go again. This is Christine Baranski as Martha May Whovier, using a Gatling gun to decorate her house.
Hey, Betty, please!
Folks, I talked to the Grinch. I had a word with him. He promises he'll return the ornaments to the tree. He's already returned the star. All right, by the way, Martha May Whovier's neighbors here. They are Lulu Who, played by Bill Irwin, and his wife Betty Lou Who, played by Milton Grace's Molly Shannon. The narrator of the film was Anthony Hopkins, who a few years ago portrayed